This is the Australian Mobile DJ Podcast. In this series, we'll talk to them, get to know them, and learn from them. And here's your host, DJ Bevo.
Time to pack your suitcases and head to the sunny Gold Coast. We're catching up with Jaye Buckley from a business called Explosive Entertainment, multi-ARBIA award-winning business, and he joins me right now. Hello, Jaye. How's things on the Goldie at the moment?
Good afternoon, Lee. Everything's doing fantastic thing here, thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, going okay. Just recording lots of podcasts to keep busy, seeing there's not a great deal of DJ work around, but, you know, that's what you do in times like this. How are you going with the whole COVID lockdown thing?
Not too bad, considering.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest. I'd like to give you some bad news, but I can't.
Oh, can't you? You're still getting the bookings and everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah, look, everything is still down in numbers, but you've just got to diversify and go down different roads and find different things to do and keep your head above water and just do what you need to do.
Let's talk about that diversity. What are you finding you need to do to get those bookings, or, you know, please the customers when there's a no dancing rule?
Gone down the road of live streaming. So obviously borders are closed. A lot of people can't be there. People can't dance. But we've gone down a different road to just make up for that. So it just keeps the bookings coming.
Yeah, great idea. Live streaming, that's quite a new thing. What do you need to do that? Do you need multiple cameras, or you just got a single camera and mics hooked up to the bride and groom?
It's just a single camera. To keep it simple, it's just a single camera with a box on the top that's connected to the Wi-Fi. Obviously, it's a little bit more involved than that, but it streams to a URL, and then the couple's family can watch the ceremony. They can watch the reception. They don't need to be there.
Explosive Entertainment, it's been a pretty good business for yourself and your staff members. You won a few ARBIAs over the years. Do you want to tell us how it all came about and its origins?
Okay, geez, we are going back. Ooh, I'm going to have to tell my age here.
You're a man that doesn't seem to age, Jay.
Short version, started DJing when I was 13 years old, DJed my own 30th birthday party through a jukebox, which I thought was pretty cool. And then used to get I was just into music. I was in a band, and I love playing drums and being around music. And then I saw a DJ at a party when I was drumming when I was 16, I think I was, and I saw a DJ set up. I thought, this is really cool. And I said to him, mate, is this what you bring? And is this what you do? And I saw 2 speakers and a couple of record players. And he said, yeah, this is it. And I'm thinking, why am I slugging around a 12-piece drum kit in a trailer in the back of my mum's car when I can just take this? And that's where it went. And that's when I started. That's when I swapped over.
Yeah, nice. So whereabout was that, on the Goldie, or was it at another place around Australia?
Yeah, Brisbane. Yeah, Brisbane. Yeah. At that time, yeah, it was Brisbane. But I've been on the coast since I was 18 years old, and worked in the clubs from the day that I was 18, and never looked back. So
you would have started as a solo operator, and now you've built up to what people in the industry refer as a multi-op. How was that transition for you?
From being a single operator to a multi?
Yeah.
Popularity.
The demand was there, and you needed to take more bookings, I sound.
Yeah. It just became, some people are DJs, some people are business. And I think I tick both those boxes. And some people just want to DJ, and that's completely fine. But then some people would like to run a business and multiply, and that's what I decided to do. Just a passion that I had, so I just kept it going.
And it grew and grew. And how many ARBIAs later you're still in business, Explosive Entertainment?
Yeah. I've lost count. I don't know how many I've got.
Is there?
No, there's not that many. There's only there's only about 8 or 9, I think.
Oh, is that all?
So, yeah.
Bragging rights.
Something
Excuse
like
me,
that.
Jay Buckley.
Well, there are companies that have won quite a lot more than that,
Yeah.
and I take my hat off to them. But being in this industry for such a long time, I think I joined the ABI in 2012, I think it was.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess so. Because it is in 8 years, that's a pretty good effort.
Yeah, and what do you think is the attribute that you need to achieve such success?
Ooh, that's a passion,
Yeah.
dedication, don't give up, and if a door closes, kick it open.
Oh. Sounds like the FBI. FBI, freeze! Explosive
Yes.
Entertainment, freeze! We want your booking now!
Yeah, something like that. No, it is. You've just got to. Not so much. Don't take no for an answer, but just keep that persistence going, and make sure that if that's what you want, then you just keep on going.
With a business based on the Gold Coast, what events do people seem to book more than anything else? What's the market down there like?
Oh, look, weddings are always going to be the top of the cake, so to speak. But the corporate world is a little bit different down here. They're a little bit more funky. They're a bit, we may have a sax player come along, or a guitarist or something like that, just to play along with the funky tunes out by the beach, by the poolside, in Surfers Paradise, or a rooftop bar, or whatever it may be. So that's probably the difference down on the Gold Coast rather than in Brisbane, where it's inside a function room or a convention centre, or something like that.
And do you get a lot of schoolies gigs with the DJ business?
I don't personally know. I stay away from the schoolies because we have had a few that have gone a little bit sideways.
Yeah.
And that's just what we decided not to do. However, the ones that we have done in the past have been a lot of fun, and there are a lot of schoolies parties around, and they are a lot of fun to do.
So you're a DJ, you play for the crowds. What's your own personal taste when it comes to music selection? What do you like listening to in your spare time?
Well, I've shifted over the years, as you do, when you grow up. When I was younger, I used to listen to heavy metal. Believe it or not, I was into the old school Metallica and Ozzy Osbourne and things like that. And then you grow up and you change, and you go from dance to R&B to top 40 and everything. But through my whole career, I've always been interested and liked country music. So, hey, if there was a gig that came up, nobody wanted to do it. None of my boys, this country music, can you get somebody else to do it? So I didn't mind. I was the one that did it, and country music has grown and grown and grown. So, and it's been in my heart since I was 16 years old, when we lived out in the bush and used to hang out with all of the people riding horses and chase the cattle around and just sit in the paddocks and you just talk smack with my mates. And so the country music was there from the start, and it's just developed, and now that's what's taken over for me, country music, which is a great genre, which a lot of people don't fully understand. But once they start listening to it, they're like, wow, that's country music? Yeah, that's country music. Oh, this is really cool.
Where did you grow up, if you're talking about, being around horses and paddocks and amongst your mates and that? It wasn't Brisbane or Gold Coast, was it?
Yeah, it was actually Brisbane. It was in the Redlands. That was when you could actually go 2 streets over on your push bike with your mates, and you'd be in the bush, and there'd be horse paddocks. I knew a couple of girls, obviously, this is when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. Yeah. To jump on the back of the horses in our suburban streets, and then just go for a ride through the bush. There was a bloke down the road who had a strawberry farm, who had a kangaroo that just would be there all of the time. So it ended up being kind of our pet kangaroo. We just go down and pat every day, and he just liked the company. So even though it was in suburbia, it was still a country feel. But then from there, my parents moved to Jimboomba, or North Maclean, which is just near Jimboomba, and that was on acreage, and that's when the country really started to kick in.
Yeah, nice spot down there. Lots of big acreage blocks and beautiful part of the world, that's for sure. The evolution of your DJ business, you would have started out obviously playing music and doing the traditional type of thing for DJs. What services have you added over the years that you're finding that are in demand with the clientele?
Probably your dry ice. I know it's been around for a long time, but the dry ice and things have evolved with cold sparks. The pretty much, we like to call them the electronic firework that shoot up behind cakes and dance and first dances and things like that they've evolved. So probably more along the lines of the dry ice and the dancing on the cloud and the cold sparks would probably be the best thing.
Have you ventured into like monograms or anything like that as well?
Yes and no. We had the old gobo machines back in the day when you had to go and get the stencil cut out and everything, and but we never really pushed it. But yes, it is something that you can do there. But there's a lot of video monogramming that people do these days, but we never really got into it that much.
So how are you keeping busy these days with your gigs? Who's booking and what's happening in the world of COVID restrictions for you?
Look, you just need to reassure people that it's okay, I guess. That's probably the biggest thing. And we haven't really had them. Not too many. Well, sorry, we've had a lot of postponements, not very many cancellations, but a lot of people just still want to hold on to their date and they still want to have a good time. And you can do that without dancing. If we're going to put everything in one basket and say a DJ is only worth his worth if you can dance, then it's maybe a little bit of a silly thing to say, where if you can have people singing and just having a good time, and just having a bop on their seat. Yeah. If you can master that, then I think you're heading in the right direction as a DJ.
In terms of gear, what are you using these days?
We've cut everything right down. A lot of places have noise restrictions, so we get the power out of an 8 or a 10. Big gigs, the 12s. Just as much as power as we would get from the 15s with the subs and things like that. It is obviously a lot different sound, but we've reduced the size of our sound systems. We still haven't gone towards the tower option, but we're just using the little 8s, whether it be QSC or actually it's QSC and Wolfdale. That's what we've decided to stick with. They're a good, strong brand, so, and they pump out some serious sound. So, and the smaller the system, the better. And if you can get some good sound out of it, then why not? It's much easier on the back at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. Gone are those days of those, I don't know, bloody 50 kilo amps that you used to have to lug upstairs and stuff like that. Jeez.
Look, I don't know if you've probably been around for a long time yourself. It wasn't so much just the speakers and the amp they had to worry about. It was the crates of music.
Yes.
that you had to worry about. These days, you walk in with a USB. Back then, you'd need a forklift to lift your 8 crates of records into the car and bring all of those in. That was the hard part.
Yeah, definitely. Jay, thank you so much for chatting to us today on the Australian Mobile DJ podcast. Explosive Entertainment, how do we find you and discover more about what you do?
Well, just all of the .coms, explosiveentertainment.com.au, Facebook, explosiveentertainment.com.au, the same with Instagram, explosive_ENT Gold Coast. That's the Instagram hashtag, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome stuff. Jay Buckley from the Gold Coast.
The Australian Mobile DJ podcast was hosted by DJ Bevo and produced by Matt Fulton Productions.